Hi there, I'm Luke Crumley. I'm the Director of Public Policy and Sustainability for the Ohio Corn and Wheat Growers Association, and we're at the Ohio Statehouse today to give you a special member-only update on the state budget and federal budget reconciliation. As we're recording this video today, leaders in the Ohio House and the Ohio Senate are conferring on a final version of the state budget. That means that the Ohio House of Representatives has passed their version of a budget, the Senate has passed their version of a budget. Now both sides have to get together for a compromise bill to send to the governor's desk for final signature. That conference package is really important because there are big differences between what the House has proposed and what the Senate has proposed, and there are wins and losses in either of those versions of the state budget. Notably, H2 Ohio funding is at stake. The Ohio House of Representatives proposed some drastic cuts to H2 Ohio, including the parts of H2 Ohio that fall under the Ohio Department of Agriculture, which our members care deeply about. But the Senate, in their version, restored some funding, so the chambers have to get together and figure out what approach they're going to take to fund that really important water quality program right here in the Buckeye State. Also in the House version, the House included a provision to incentivize the sale of higher blends of ethanol. That's a big win for Ohio's corn farmers. Unfortunately, the Senate, in their version, stripped that program out of the budget. So both chambers have to come together and figure out whether or not that program is going to move into spending here in the next 2 years. We're hopeful that the Senate follows the lead of the House of Representatives on higher blends of ethanol. The Ohio House has passed a provision like this in 3 consecutive sessions. It's time for us to move this forward and give Ohio drivers access to a higher quality fuel that can save them money at the pump right now. Anything that you've seen reported on the state budget right now is still just a draft. That's where this conference committee comes into play, with leaders from both the House and the Senate at the table working out all of those differences. The final version will look different from what you've seen reported in the news. You may have heard discussions about things like education funding and a new stadium for the Cleveland Browns. All of that's in negotiation. We don't know what the final version is going to look like until sometime next week. And while it's been a busy 6 months down here at Cap Square, we can't forget that many of our priorities are at the federal level too. And while the state is negotiating their 2-year budget, Congress is in the process of negotiating something called a budget reconciliation. This is a legislative tool that allows them to fund some legislative agenda items without going through the normal legislative process. So it's been a flurry of activity in Washington, D.C. as well. But it's not just about taxes. Budget reconciliation negotiations right now are touching on things like reference prices, ARC and PLC programs, key farm bill titles that our growers rely on to make sure they can survive the hard times too. Beyond budget reconciliation, you've heard a lot from our association on access to E15 year-round. This is a #1 priority for our growers because it means lower prices for consumers and increased demand for our corn growers. Right now, it's tough to say whether there would be a pathway forward for E15 in budget reconciliation. Because of Senate rules, that particular provision may not be able to be incorporated in budget reconciliation. But that's not our only bite at the apple this year. As we look further into the year, Congress is going to have continuing resolution and spending packages to vote on all year, and there are going to be multiple opportunities for us to work in a broad coalition to get year-round E15 done. It's so important to note here that we have agreement not only within agriculture, but also within the liquid fuels and oil industry to get this done. And Congress needs to hear this message. They're hearing it from you every time you participate in our calls to action. Over the next few weeks and throughout the rest of 2025, there are going to be big opportunities for Ohio's corn and wheat farmers to speak up about the issues that matter. That's why we need you to click on the link below and register for text alerts so that when you hear directly from us, you know it's important, you know it's the time to take action and make your voice heard. And if you haven't renewed your membership in the Ohio Corn and Wheat Growers Association for this year, now is the time. Make sure you don't miss out on any of our communications. Renew your membership today.
Discover more important updates from OhioCornandWheat.org.